All right, we are live. I am having a conversation with Mr. Professor Jaron LeGrand, and just waiting for him to pop in the room. I became a fan of his YouTube channel, and he is an authority on voice technique, speech therapy, I guess. We're going to get down to the bottom of it because I don't know exactly what he does in totality. But I applaud what he does on his YouTube channel because he actually critiques voices of some of our favorite artists on his YouTube channel. And I thought it was very interesting how he breaks down the technique and how they master the sound with the technique of the tool of voice. Oh, he just popped into the room. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Here we go. There we go. Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
hold on one second. I think I need to come up a level.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to raise my camera up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
There we go. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
That's what's
And
up. That's what's up.
I'm not saying that to be corny. I really mean that.
And we gonna take it. Hallelujah. Look, we gonna take it. Okay.
All right. So, Professor LeGuerre, I wanted you on my show because I'm a fan of your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
I love what you're doing over there. I am a big fan of the arts, especially music, and I used to sing myself, so I have a great affection for the voice. And what you're doing over there, I'm a big fan. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much. For real.
yeah, absolutely. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your background.
That's always a good question. I'm from Ohio. I always tell people I'm a singer by by in at the heart, though I'm a teacher and everything. I started singing, I mean, obviously I started singing when I was tiny, my youth choir, Future Hope. Youth Young Choir, shout out to y'all. But yeah, I started singing there. Also, my brothers, my parents sing, my grandparents sing, my aunts and uncles sing, cousins be singing sometimes. So I come from a musical family, though I probably took it some of the farthest in my family. But still, so grew up singing, went to performing arts middle school, high school, the whole
Okay,
nine. I went to college. I actually started in college for graphic design. Then I went to PR for like 20 minutes. And then I decided, I said, I guess I'll do music and try for this thing. My mom was like, finally, bruh, because she knew I was supposed to be doing it, but I was kind of like being hard headed. I know how to sing. I'm 18. I know how to sing. So I went to the whole thing. But yeah, and then during my undergrad career was when I decided, like, man, I think I want to teach, and so that's how and it wasn't nothing deep. I was sitting in the lobby one day, and I saw a professor. Well, I think a flute professor walked by, and he just walked by, and I just said, they get paid to teach me how to play the flute. I think I want to do that. And that was all it was, and then the rest is history. And so I decided then, okay, I'm gonna get my master's. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So that's how everything started. But like I said, I'm a singer by trade. Always had this voice. I sang in a couple choirs and stuff like that. But the teaching thing kind of came later on. But again, my family's full of educators, between pastors, administrators, school teachers. I started in the classroom for years before I became full time on my own. So it's just like education is huge in
right.
and especially my dad's side of the family. Everybody is a teacher. So
Okay,
so yeah, that's kind of how it all began, so to speak.
okay, okay. And and so, when did you decide to start the studio?
I started the studio. Well, I started teaching on my own, like private voice lessons, like 2008, 2008. I want to start. I say I started the studio in 2013. So I just celebrated 10 years last year
Okay.
of business, of grace. I call it 10 years of grace. For 2013, I started the studio. And yeah, that's when I started. It was kind of during grad school. We actually had
Yeah.
an assignment to create our own voice studio. That's part of one of our assignments. And I was like, I want to do this for real. I was like the only person in my cohort who wanted to do it. And so, everybody else in my cohort was kind of like, I just want to teach college and that's it. I'm like, ah. And that's kind of how it all, began because I wanted to teach. I wanted to teach, and not be confined to certain rules and things that were, especially 10, 15 years ago, very
Right.
prevalent in the voice world. So,
Yeah. So, what? Tell me about your average student. What kind of people come to you?
well, nowadays I get a lot more. I'll say advanced people, advanced students, people who are professionals in the game, who I guess who act professionally in the game, who are actively professional. That's a better way of saying
Okay.
it. 'Cause I believe everybody is great, but people who are active professionals, so I get Broadway people, I have some Grammy Award winning people, I have Stellar Award winning people, but I also have those who aren't, So, but most of my clientele comes from either church, musical theater, um, or like very commercial, quote unquote, very like pop, R&B, jazz, that kind of thing. That's really where most of my clientele come from. 'Cause that's what I talk about a lot,
Okay.
on my platform. So,
And you yourself, like, what is your repertoire of music that you would dabble in? What is your range?
um, oh, well, I started in gospel. So I'm a gospel through and through church. I'm church, I'm a choir kid. So I'm gonna do Ricky Diller, James Hall, Hezekiah Walker, and Walter Hawkins. That's where I'm gonna live. Richard Smallwood. That's where I'm gonna live. But Karen Clark. But also on top of that, for me, it's the I see, I am Lettucey, Shaka Khan. Oh my gosh, you name it. Those type of singers is where I kind of live. But I'll do musical theater too. Because I taught musical theater and I was in musical theater. I don't really sing it as much as more as I teach it now. Um, but yeah, musical theater, R&B, so pretty much anything in there. I love jazz. I wish I could sing jazz, but I'm
It's
just don't think
hard.
I'm that good at jazz.
Hard. It's hard.
I'm kind of everything. Somebody's like bark, everything like I can't get smooth like Samara Joy. Like I wish I could, but it's just ain't in my wheelhouse. But that's okay. That's all right. So yeah, that's what I would say is kind of where I live musically for me and vocally.
Okay. And so you started the school, you have your
Mhm.
clientele. What are some of the average things? Like, what are like some of the basics that people may want to know how to do? Like, do you have a thing that people ask for the most? Like an ability that
Um,
they're trying to get?
I would say some of the things people ask for the most: how to do runs. I get that a lot. How do I do runs? And a lot of the stuff people ask me, like, how do I do runs? How do I sing louder?
Mm,
Um, and I actually get quite a bit of people who want to cross over from one genre to the other, or want to try different genres without hurting themselves, or whatever the
right,
case may be.
right.
And in terms of riffs and runs and things like that, what I found is that there are other reasons why they can't do them. Not just It's not just, oh, I can't do them. There's a reason why.
Mm-hmm,
And so I usually ask the question like, how what makes you not be able to do them,
mm-hmm,
but sometimes it's not just I can't physically do it, it's I'm scared,
mm,
it's I don't know where to begin, I don't know how to put the notes in the run, like I don't, so there's different reasons. So then how I teach depends on the reason that they give me, because some people may not need the movement, they may need, okay, what notes do I pick, you know
right.
and that's different than, okay, let's move our voice, so some people may need both. So it just depends. So, but those are some of the things that I get the most is sing out. I want to sing out more. I want to do riffs and runs, or I want to like cross over or do something without hurting myself. Those are the three ones I get the
That's
most.
very interesting. Talk a little bit about that, like the crossing over and the importance of your technique in singing and the
Hmm.
difference of crossing over. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I teach from the lens that no, there's no hierarchy of genre of singing technique. It's just whatever works for you.
Hmm.
Um, because and I learned that by trial and error when I always talk the story. I had a student at one of the colleges I worked at. He had a similar voice to mine, very high. So I'm thinking, oh, just do what I do and you'll just sing. You'll just sing good. But he has a different anatomical structure than me because we are two different
Mhm.
people.
Right.
So we're not the same. And so I kept doing what I felt like he could be doing that would emulate me, but it wouldn't work for him.
Hmm.
And so one day I was like, let me try something different. And we did some different stuff and it like the heavens opened up, vocal heavens opened up. Okay. I mean, the way he sang so well. And that was a lesson for me. I can't teach everybody the same. So when it comes to
Hmm.
crossing over and genre crossing and things like that, it's a mental thought to say, okay, I can do this. Let's start there. It's a mental
Hmm.
thing, but it's also just conditioning your vocal muscles. So it's not even a retraining; it's just a conditioning to the different things.
Yeah.
Because some people, like I'm more conditioned to be churchy. That's just what I've done all these years.
Hmm.
I didn't really sing a lot of jazz, though I love jazz. I didn't sing a lot of jazz. So when I do jazz, it's still gonna come, a little churchy, no matter what I do, no
Yeah.
matter what genre. I sang How You For the Feet of Them years ago at a recital, and I posted on, Facebook or whatever, and somebody was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." And that made no harm by this, but I got so tickled. They're like, "This is beautiful. I can really hear the gospel roots in how you sing." And I'm like, I'm supposed to be classical baroque. You hear gospel? Like, come on, man, But it's just a part of who I am. I think
Right.
about
Right.
vibrato speed, just kind of the sound of my voice. It doesn't matter what I sing. People gonna know. Oh yeah, you grew up in St. Church. You grew up
Yeah.
singing in church. That's just. So I think it's just a point of conditioning the vocal muscles. Not so much I have to relearn or I have to forget something. It's just how diverse I want to be and make that decision.
Right.
And go from there.
Right. I love how sometimes you get into the science of it all when you explain like what's actually happening when someone sings. Can you like give me an example of that a little bit? Like share with who's ever in the live a little taste of that?
Uh, it depends on oh my gosh, it depends on who I'm talking about. But it's
All right. So explain. This is something simple. Explain what vibrato is.
vibrato is that movement, that shaky or the tremolo, the movement in one's voice. It's kind of, to me, I explain it like a balance between air, voice, and body. A lot of times when you have natural vibrato, some people teach it differently. So I'm not saying I'm the one when the way I'm teaching is correct or the right way. It's just the way I go about it. So yes, air, voice, and body balance. And using the body fully, the full apparatus of the voice to execute balance in phonation. And so a lot of times the result of that is vibrato. But do you have to have vibrato in order to be able to sing? No,
Right.
you don't have to have vibrato to sing. You can have no vibrato and still be able to sing. Vibrato and
Hmm.
singing is not simultaneous. It's just a result of singing could be vibrato for some people, but vibrato usually is something that is pleasurable to most people's ears. But if you want to take it a step further, some people's vibrato are not as pleasing to some people's ears as others. So that's kind of getting into a personal bias
Yeah.
of each person. So it just, it can go so deep. But vibrato, by definition, is just that tremolo, that movement you have when you sing.
So you did name some of your favorite singers. I need to narrow it down a little bit
Uh-huh.
because now I'm trying to get in your head a little bit. Narrow it down to like five. If you were on a desert island and you had to have five singers, who are you picking?
I hate this question because um okay, we'll just say individual solo singers. We'll narrow it down some more
Yes.
for me because I need to
Yeah.
because I will name choirs and so we're gonna name people, individual people. So in no particular order,
Okay.
I'm gonna name these people, but I'm gonna say Karen Clark Sheard,
Hmm.
but I will say the Clarks is with their group, but. So Karen Twinkie during the decade. Okay, but I'll just say Karen for right now. So Karen, I would say Lettucey.
Hmm.
I would say Tweet.
Mm.
Faith Evans. That's
Mm.
four. Oh, this is so hard. I'm gonna just stop at them four, because
Okay.
I'm gonna just stop at them because I want to name like 20 other people, 30, 50, 100, but I can't. So I'm gonna
Okay.
just stop at the.
No,
But yeah.
I get where you're coming from. It sounds like you have an ear something like mine, because I really appreciate a good
Mhm,
soprano. A good, strong soprano who has the range of an alto, maybe even tenor.
mhm,
That's like right in my wheelhouse.
mhm, mhm. And I relate to them vocally. I
Hmm.
I I can sing their stuff. So a
Hmm.
lot of times I like people who I can sing,
Hmm.
which usually is women at this point. Or like a Stevie Wonder, or like stuff like that. Like I can sing his stuff, but other than that, like it's gonna be, Effie, it's gonna be, Lettucey, it's gonna be all them people.
Yeah.
I'm not singing,
Yeah.
Barry White. I'm not singing James Brown. That's just not in my wheelhouse. So
Yeah.
I love him. I love James. I could analyze James Brown today. I love you some James Brown, but I can't sing it, like that. So
Right. So when you pick songs, do you go to gospel first, or is that something that's just it's so in you that it's just there?
but like when I
Yeah.
analyze people, or
Yeah.
um, I don't. I used to go to gospel first, but not so much anymore.
Okay.
It'll always be there. I think that's a part of the brand that I've built. I didn't mean to build it that way, but I'm not mad if I built it that way. That people, because I am a believer. And I speak for somebody else because I'm a believer. A lot of times, what I do is intertwined with what I believe in. So I end up doing gospel. Most times I do gospel on YouTube. I end up preaching or something or crying. So it's just like clockwork. But yeah, but at this point, honestly, most of what I do is requests. I don't even.
Okay.
So a lot of people just say, "Hey, can you do this one?" It's okay. I look at it and it's okay. Cool, I'll do it. And I do it. Or something that's popular, but something I still connect to. Like I don't do requests that I don't connect to.
Right.
I want to be able to
Okay.
talk about it in a way that is enriching. But because there's some videos I don't even know exist, and like, oh yeah, let me do that one, or like that one just came out, like Fantasia doing the national anthem a couple weeks ago. Didn't know that existed until that night. I was in bed laying down scrolling, and I was like, oh. And so I woke up the next morning and recorded the video because I knew I wanted to do it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I have to do this one. So yeah, it's kind of it just depends. It just depends.
I I, I have two videos. Well, two, I guess, performances. It's not just two, but I urge you to check out Etta James singing "I'd Rather Go Blind" live,
Okay, yeah. Etta James, I
and
like her.
check out some of those performances that Faith did on The Masked Singer.
Oh, yes. I've checked out. I did one on TikTok. Maybe two of them.
You
Maybe two
did?
of them.
I have to
Yeah, on TikTok, though.
go
Not
check
like
that out.
YouTube, but TikTok. On TikTok.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm starting to get to the point on TikTok and social media where I forget what I did. I used to remember every video, but I'm like, oh, did I do that? I think I did that, because I do so many now. So it's starting to all. So I was like, I know I remember because she was a skunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know I did one, maybe two, but I know I did one. I
Okay.
know I did one.
All right. I love the one that you did with Brandy too, with the what was she singing? I think it was Borderline live,
Wait, which one was
and I
that on YouTube?
think it was on YouTube, and I think it was the one where she the director's pointer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
that was an old
oh my
one.
God, she killed that. She
Yeah,
killed
she
that.
did.
She's
She
an
did.
alien. I think she's an alien. Brandy's like really, really different.
Oh
Really
yeah.
different.
Yeah, she just gifted. She just has a gift that is like none other. And I was like, well, God, that was during the pandemic when I taped that. Because I remember it was an
Hmm.
old apartment.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny. You remember that? That was like, well, no, I reposted it recently. I mean, like last like 6 months. But I remember when I first tried to post it, I couldn't because of copyright. But I didn't know I
Okay.
could dispute those as an educator back then. But now that I know that
Mm.
now, I reposted it and I was like, "Hey, can I?" And then they let me do it without a problem. Like the same day they approved it, and that was cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I recorded. God, that was like 3 years ago. I recorded that, but yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
That was
that's
good.
like one of the epic performances. She's just crazy.
Mhm. She just my one favorite one of hers is um begging and
Oh,
pleading,
oh, oh,
forgive me.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
love that
She was
song.
so disrespectful.
Oh, and I think because it's low key kind of, but blues is churchy, so I
Yeah,
think because it's low key kind of like gospel-y, that's why I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
um, yeah, I love that.
Somebody asked, "Have you done any work with Avery Wilson?"
No, not yet. Not yet. We've commented on each other's videos. That's about it. but but no, we haven't worked together yet. I say word yet on purpose, but we haven't worked together
Oh,
yet.
I have another one too. I know you probably saw it, but you didn't critique it. Uh, Faith singing the Christmas song on a BET special, and it's old. It probably was done maybe 2000, 2001.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't do a video, but
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because I did the
yeah.
one she did with Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, yeah,
Did that one, but I didn't
yeah,
do the
yeah,
that one you're talking about. Not yet, at least. But I need to do it because anything Faith that comes across my plate, I'm like, yes, yes, so yeah, I love Faith. So I always tell people like she's the only artist. She's the only artist that I always tell people she has a special place in my heart. I don't know why, but I just like something about her. She just holds a special place all up in my chest, all up in my heart. I just love her. I always have for years. As a little boy, I've always just loved her.
yeah. She's another one, and she's a nice
Yeah,
lady. She's a really nice lady. What
yeah.
about? Give me your thoughts on Rochelle Farrell.
An anomaly, a vocal anomaly, an amazing, technical, artistic. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I love how she uses her voice in a way that is not typical.
Mm-hmm.
That is not. I like that she plays with literal sounds and not just let's just sing a melody. And nothing there's nothing wrong with that, but she takes it a step further. And I
Yeah,
think some people it goes over their heads like, oh, she's doing too much. You just don't appreciate it, and that's okay. You don't have to, but you can't say she can't sing. That's one thing you can never say that she don't got no skills. Like the girl is cold. You can't say that. You may not like how she delivers her skills. That's up to
right.
you. But you can't tell me the girl can't sing. And when
That's
people
the
get on my
honest
social
too.
media trying to say it, I'd be like, now, you
Yeah,
can say a lot of things, but you can't say that.
yeah,
You can't say that. But yeah, I love her so much. Love her.
yeah. I was having a conversation with someone maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I was urging them to go check out some of their favorite artists live. And I was trying to explain that, what you hear on a recorded song,
Mm-hmm.
is nice, it's good, but people that are really artists and they can really sing, you're going to get a whole lot more when you see them live because they can actually cut
Yeah.
loose. A recording is something that's supposed to be captured, and it's a certain etiquette and parameters that you have to stick to in order to have a good recording. And sometimes, you have the boss over your shoulder telling you, don't do that run. Don't be that loud. We want it to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So check your favorite artists out live so you can really see what they're about. Because some of the
Mm-hmm.
people that you think can't really sing can really sing. I
Absolutely.
remember, I remember when I found that out about Natalie Cole because
Mm-hmm.
my parents played Natalie Cole albums when I was a kid, and of course I loved her songs. But then there's a whole nother side of Miss Natalie Cole that a lot of people never got a chance to hear really, and she can hang with the best of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. I knew that when she did not that I needed proof, but when she did this will be thinking
yeah,
everlasting that when I didn't know it was her when I first heard that song when I was little. I didn't know who it was. I just never thought it was her. And I was like, that's her. And I figured out I was like, oh, never mind. Just like dang. So I knew I was like, okay, she got some chops. I'm not that I doubt it, but it's just hearing that song, I'm like, okay, she got shots for real. So, yeah.
Tell me about some of the guys that are out here who is impressing you with their vocals.
Like currently,
No, just anyone, just anyone.
you said guys. Um, I think who? Shoot, I know there's people, and I can't remember his name. name right now. Oh my God, I see him. He's light skinned, glasses. He has like a little afro. He's more like a neo soul indie. I remember his name starts with the E. Emma. Oh, I'm no, yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, he's. I just did a video on him like 2 weeks ago, but he's great. I love him. He's saying I love him, and it's very ambiguous because I don't know.
I
You know who
think
I'm
I
talking about. So
know who you're talking about. I think
even,
I know.
even
I can't think of the name though.
okay, yeah, but I know it starts with the E. Emma something. I just can't remember right now.
Mm,
Um, but I would say him. I'm trying to think people present because I mean the people I always will name with like Michael Jackson. Um, who I've been actually listening to a lot more lately, randomly, is Prince.
mhm,
Not that I ever, again, never doubted his ability. I just been kind of like listening to a lot more lately, just
mm,
randomly, like okay, um, but yeah, another person I'm always enamored by. Two people. One person I'm always enamored by. Another person had to rekindle. But one person is Marvin Winans.
mm.
He is just he is just he just sings
Yeah,
and it just flows like butter.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I love him. And another person who I've always thought he could sing, but I heard him live a couple weeks ago, and it gave me a new respect for him. Not that ever did respect him, but still, Smokey
Mm,
Norfolk. I'm gonna say
mm.
that too. A lot of times you go to concerts and people have their sets, they have to go through their songs and whatever, and sometimes you miss the connection in the set because you have either had to do a job, you're on a time restraint, like you said, in the studio, even in concerts it's like that sometimes. But I felt like even with Smokey Norfolk's set that he did that I heard, I still felt an element of authenticity and like church that I always
Okay.
expect from a gospel artist. And he is just a great technical singer. I think
Yeah,
a lot of people don't. He everything he does is clean. Like everything. It's like I wish I was that clean when I sing. Like everything he does is just super clean.
yeah.
Like
And
he never.
his whole tone is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just never misses. Like everything he chooses to do, it just happens every time. I love Smokey Norfolk.
What's up, Roy? My buddy Roy mentioned Daryl Coley. Daryl Coley is like,
I didn't mention him. I would be remiss. He's one of my top five, like easily. I didn't even think like I know because one of my. It's funny I say this. One of my goals has always been to sing when Sunday comes
mm,
with somebody, and I said that a couple years ago, and I was supposed to sing it at a concert. It ended up not being in town for that concert, so I couldn't do it. But my uncle, my dad's brother, has wanted me to sing that song forever. And I'm scared to sing it. I'm gonna lie to you. I'm scared to sing that song because it's such a it's like one of the songs you hear when you hear the title, like, okay, when Sunday comes, all right,
yeah,
it's like I'll always love you, or you hear, and I'm telling you, there's a certain precedent you have when you hear certain song titles, and that's one of them. And I'm like, oh Jesus, I don't want nobody to hear me sing that song, but that was so good. So ugh.
yeah,
but no, I love Daryl Coley. One of my
yeah,
top, easily,
yeah.
easily.
He, he's probably like, as far as like ability is for me, he's probably at the top. I, I'm,
Hmm. Hmm.
I really like Joe Thomas.
Mm.
People don't give him as much credit as he deserves. He really can
Yeah,
sing.
he can.
I'm I'm going to give a nod to Chris Brown because Chris Brown is sneaky with his. He's very sneaky.
You see, I'm forgetting people, but yes, he can
He's very
sing.
sneaky. Let
He
me
can sing.
see who else. Um, what's his name? Lucky Day. Lucky Day
Uh-huh.
is
Uh-huh.
very, very good. Um, and I like the tone of his voice too.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Especially Peter
Usher as
Collins.
well.
Yeah,
Usher as well.
yeah. Peter Collins is an anomaly too. I love
Hmm.
Peter. I love him.
Hmm.
He's another great. Like I've analyzed him so many times on TikTok. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh, I feel like sometimes artists get tired of me. I'm like, I know y'all tired of seeing my name pop up on your stuff every day. My bad, Oh, but people just keep tagging me in this, especially a couple years ago. God, when he did that, when Peter did that one, the Christmas with the pentatonics, that video a couple years ago. I mean, the way they was tagging me in that video, I'm like, okay, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. I mean, I told Samara Joy before. I told her, I said, girl, if you get tired of me, just let me know. Because people tag me in her stuff all day. And I'm like, please, I'm sorry. I can't control these people. I was like, I'm glad they love me and they love you. But if you get tired of me, let me know and I'll shut it down. She's like, no, no, you're fine, you're fine. I'm like, I'm just making sure. I just want you to be mad at me.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite performance?
Of anybody?
Anybody? Anything that stands out that you could like watch over and over and over again?
God, these are such broad questions. I'm like, man, because there's so many of different people. Trying to think of a performance that I could watch over and over again. I okay. I like Beyonce's "Deja Vu" from the Las Vegas thing that a couple years ago. Wembley? No, Las Vegas. She did the
Okay.
concert in Las Vegas, that one concert.
Okay.
I love that rendition and that particular performance.
Okay.
Because I think she did Ella Fitzgerald. She did some scatting at first, and then she went into Deja Vu, like a jazz version of Deja Vu.
Okay.
That's one performance I can watch day in day out. I love that performance. Um, I think who else or what else? Um, man, this is a good question. I don't know. I mean, I like some gospel performances too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can watch. I mean, personally, I could watch Richard Smallwood's singers sing all day. Vision. They are the top to me.
Yeah.
Um, I love that. You know, what another um singer that I like to watch, particularly this performance of Cynthia Erivo's Alfie. I
Mm.
watch that Alfie.
Dionne Warwick's
Yeah.
Alfie? Okay.
hmm I mean,
Mm.
and Dion, of course, Dion smashed that too. I
Yeah.
just Cynthia's recently has stirred me in such a way. Um, but no, I love watching Cynthia sing that song. But yeah, I would say those are some of the people who I love watching. I'm gonna tell you who I love also watching. This is not a mainstream, but it's just somebody. Another top five for me is Lynette Hawkins Stevens. I love me some Lynette personally, so I could watch her sing all
Yeah.
day, every day. Of course, anything Karen Clark, the Clark sisters, I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I watch them day in and day out. But yeah, so there's so many people who I watch a lot. But like I said, Cynthia Erivo, I love Alfie. And Deja Vu, that Beyonce, that just does something to me. I love that performance.
So I have a favorite performance of, and ironically, two of these are connected to Pavarotti, the
Okay.
opera singer Pavarotti. So one is he invited Anita Baker to be on one of his sets in Italy, and she sang Body and Soul. And it was so
Um,
clean and crisp, and her notes were so precise. And, at the end, she has to, modulate to this big beginning. And being from a singer's point of view, I knew where she was going with it,
mhm,
and you could tell that she was nervous about it. And so when she was in it and she was hitting the note, you can see her get emotional about it. So it was kind of raw. That's why I really like
mhm,
it.
mhm,
And then
mhm.
the other one was Pavarotti was supposed to sing for the Grammys, and Aretha
Oh,
Franklin stepped
yeah,
in and sang one of his songs that she didn't really even know and killed it.
yeah. I remember watching as a little boy. I
Hmm.
remember watching that for the first time. It was like late '90s, so like I
Hmm.
remember seeing it for the first time. I was like,
Yeah.
like I knew then, it's like an 8, 9, 10 year old, like what, like what?
Right.
Like I
Right.
knew then. I was like 7. But yeah, I remember watching that too. I was
And
actually
there's
doing analysis on that
there's a
whole video.
performance from Tamia. She's singing "The Wine Is Tomorrow" on the
Oh,
BT Gospel, and she sang it so well. Like I was so afraid for her as it was getting to the end of the song because I was like, "Oh my God, she's so high. It's too high for her," but it wasn't. She killed it.
she's another clean. She's another just technical, just on the money singer. Every time you hear her, I love
Yeah,
Tamia. I
yeah.
love her. But yeah, I remember that one. I remember that too. And like I said, I was thinking about doing an analysis of full video for Aretha's Nelson Dorma from the Grammys. I think I may do that. Um, right now, this will be after February is always busy for me for videos because of all the award seasons and stuff.
Right.
And everybody want me to talk
Right. Yeah.
about their performance. So usually February, I'm like everything's on pause until I get through award season, and then I'll hop back to my list. Because I already told my editor right now. I said, "Hey, we gonna be putting in some work the next couple weeks, so just go ahead and get ready." 'Cause I mean, I'm good.
Well, talk about that a little bit. Like, since you brought that up, let's talk about that a little bit so people can appreciate the work that you put into
Mm-hmm.
delivering us such great content. So,
Mm-hmm.
talk about that a little bit, your process.
Yeah, I so like for award season, it's become a thing where, like I said, I put my all my videos on queue on, or I try to push them all out before February, or put them on pause until like March or April, or like March, because of award season, Super Bowl Sunday, every performance that these award shows and things do, a lot of times people want me to talk about them, and so I'm gonna tell you, last 2 years for the Super Bowl, I've done videos. I think I did videos 2 years ago, but I know I did them last year because Chris Stapleton sang the national anthem. Shirley Ralph did the Live Every Voice. And I think Rihanna was the halftime show.
Hmm.
And for that, while everybody's at Super Bowl parties kicking it, I'm in my studio recording these analyses for everybody watching the games. So because they post them on YouTube usually minutes after it happens. So I'm sitting at my desk waiting I just refresh the search. As soon as I see it pop up, I get it, I record, and I start editing while this game is going on. So then
Mm.
they're up by the time the game is over.
Okay.
And so, but that's part. Sometimes those are long nights because I'm sitting and recording two, three, four, five videos in one night, and then editing them and getting them up there all that same night.
Mm.
So it's hard. So that's the part of the content creation that people don't talk about. It's the
Yeah.
work that goes behind, because it's like you're almost in a constant rat race with
Yeah.
content and with trending and everything. And so, and because I don't record at home, I have a separate studio that I teach out of and
Hmm.
record out of. I have to go physically to another location to record content.
Right.
So it's not as easy as getting up, walking across the hall, and just recording. I wish it was, but it's not. And not that I'm not grateful, but it's just still hard work. So yeah, that's a part of the process. Sometimes is having to get to my studio to click record and to edit and get stuff up in a certain amount of time. Because like if something's trending, like it's say it's been up, it got up that day. I pretty much have about 24 hours before people kind of fade off from it. So if I'm
Mm.
gonna hop on the moving train of the trend, then I gotta hop on it. You know, quickly, so which is why I have content creation days and administrative days to give myself time for that, because before I would be trying to teach all day and trying to record videos in the middle of teaching, and it just didn't go well. So, or now what I have to do now is do that kind of stuff. I am blessed to have video editor for most of my videos now, but still, if it's like a super quick turnaround, I don't look for him to do it because that's unfair. Like I need this in
Right.
20 minutes. Like, come on, man, So I'll have to edit and post it myself real quick. So yeah, that's part of the process of YouTube. We ain't talk about TikTok and Instagram and everywhere else. We talk about YouTube with the long form, wide videos.
Right.
So yeah.
I admire your back wall, by the way, like the frame pictures with the album covers. I love that.
Thank
I love that.
you. Thank you. That came
Yeah.
happenstantially. I just started making them, and it just
Really,
kind of came.
that's
Yeah, it
really
just came a
brilliant.
thing.
It's brilliant.
The reason why I did those was because when I was revamping my studio during the pandemic, I wanted a wall of artists that I look up to. So I couldn't find half the people who I wanted to have, like all I could find was like Aaliyah and like Beyonce. So I'm like, there's other people who I want to talk about who mean a lot to me, who aren't mainstream but were
Right.
essential in my vocal growth and my music growth and in just in my artistic growth. So I want to have them on my wall. And so I made my first one was the Clark sisters. I made one of the Clark sisters. And I showed it to my mom, and she was like, I'm thinking this is kind of corny. I major graphic design. I do visual art sometimes. And so I showed it to my mom. She was laying in bed. I showed it to her. She was like on my phone, and she was like, "This is kind of good." And I was like, "You think so?" And she was like, "No, Jen, this is good." So I kind of just started doing more. Like, well, that's good. I could do more, So I just kind of went on a spree and found. But the thing that people don't know is that I found the album covers that I use, or the moments, were moments that were very transformative for me. So Karen Clark's Bomb and Gilead, that was that photo. Richard
Okay.
Smallwood Adoration, that album, transformative for me. So there's certain moments that I captured from each person that meant a lot to me.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's kind of like a screenshot, or like a tracing, a rendering of that moment in a still photo. So
It's going to be a weird question, but I want to know, how do you feel about what you have done thus far? What is your feeling about what you have done?
in terms of my work,
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel like there's always more to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's always more to grow. But I don't negate how far I've come, and I'm very proud of myself for coming as far as I've came, and how what I've done. I didn't know I was going to do half the stuff that I'm doing now. If you would have told me 5 years ago that was going to be full-time content creation, and full-time bit of my studio private, like I would be like, boy, bye. Like, not that I didn't believe in myself, I just didn't see myself. This wasn't in my plan. Because social media for me happened because I was trying to talk about people who I didn't feel like were talked about enough. So I just started doing videos. It wasn't like I was setting out to be a content creator. Like, that wasn't my point. My first video for YouTube was Donald Lawrence. Here rebuke the rest, the one to shut up. It was on Instagram during, like, right before the pandemic. He posted an Instagram video of his choir singing. So I did it on YouTube. I top it on YouTube. And then I think I posted it on Instagram, because back then you post like full videos on Instagram. And I tagged him, and he 10 years later was like, "Oh wow, like this is everything you said. I tell my choir." He was like, "You were on the money with everything that you said." And I was in Starbucks at the time. I was in Starbucks on the bench, and I started crying because I saw that comment. I just thought I was just so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Screenshot the comment, everything. So I said, and then after that, I'm like, okay, there's something to this. Let's keep doing this. So then I did the Amours next. So I just did the people who I loved, and it just kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
And so for it to come this far, I'm so grateful to God
Mm-hmm.
and grateful to myself. I
Mm-hmm.
thank God, and I'm proud of me, for
Yeah.
sticking to it, and doing it. So yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I feel like. But I feel like there's always more to do. There's always more to accomplish. I want to do more. I want to expand and things like that. But I am not negating how far I've gotten. How far I've gotten. I thank God for His grace. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny, like when you do something just for the love of it. Like, I started doing podcasts because, one, I like to talk. I'm a very curious person. I like to know what's going on in a person's mind. So one foot in front of the other, and you keep on going. And
Mhm.
for me, it turned out to be being in movies and making some new friends that are influential. So I urge you to keep going, because I'll tell you this from someone who's a fan of your content. I think, me personally, I think that you're important to the culture. And I say that because in this time where music is so funny, and now we have AI about to creep into the realm, it's going to be a point where you're going to have to discern who's real and who's fake, and who's authentic and who's not. And the people right now that tend to be authentic and true talents are being pushed to the wayside.
Mhm.
And you are here being a beacon, shining a flashlight on what's real. I appreciate that from you, because I'm a lover of the
Mhm.
arts.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes you can feel burnt out, and I know you feel this way sometimes at some point. You know, because it's so much. Sometimes so much demand, or so much of whatever on ourselves as creators and as artists and whatever you want to call yourself, that is sometimes it get hard.
Yeah.
I was telling my cousin the other day, I'm not like burnt out, but I'm just like, child, this is a lot, you know. Um, and so I have to constantly remind myself, like you said, to do what I love because I love to do it in my important role in keeping certain, ideas, thoughts, voices alive.
Hmm.
I take that job very seriously. So I thank you for saying that for real. Um, because I just sometimes I become a robot. I just kind of just post and leave,
Hmm.
because it's part of my job, and I don't think about sometimes the impact that I have on some people. I just don't think about it. Not that I don't acknowledge it. I just be like, oh, I kind of just go by, day by day, chilling. But I thank you so much for real for saying that. Thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
absolutely. Because I know the importance of pouring into people, and I do believe that you need to give people their flowers.
Hmm.
And I get something out of what you're doing, and I would urge anybody, to reach out to some of their content creators that you love and you admire, and whomever people in your life. Just reach out to them, touch them on the shoulder, and be like, "I appreciate you because you did this for me." You
Hmm.
don't know how far that nutrients goes. Seriously, you
Hmm.
don't know.
That's right. That's right. That's right. For real. I was at a friend of mine had a photo gallery opening for his work, and I went, just to support.
Hmm.
And I actually had to go. I had to drive 2 hours from there to go teach at a workshop the next day. So it was a long night to drive through and then go to sleep, wake up early in the morning. But I'm glad I went because when I was there, about three people came up to me who recognized, who I was. I get that a lot. I'm like, you're the guy from YouTube. I'm like, oh. So, like three people who recognized me at the event, they were like, just keep doing what you're doing. We love it. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, for me to hear that phrase three times, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing it, keep doing it. I'm like, all right, Lord, like, okay. I'm gonna listen, and I didn't make no big deal about it, but I just kind of internalized, like, okay, all right, I'm gonna listen and keep, Lord, thank you. Um, and so even hearing that now, what you said, it's just, sometimes the content creators or artists just that's all they need. It's just thank you so much
Hmm.
for what you're doing. Like keep doing it,
Yeah.
all the things. There's so many times, I'm sure, like you said, you experienced this. People hit me up or message me videos to do, and they forget that I'm a person. Sometimes, they forget like I'm a human. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think they do it maliciously. I don't think it's like, oh, we hate you, we don't want you to. But I think it's more so, when they're used to seeing a certain thing come from you, when they just want to see that over and over because they love to see it. But sometimes you have to remember, I'm sorry, that all of our favorite creators, they're humans first. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
nothing else we gotta remember for ourselves, number one. But then hopefully the people who love us and who follow and who invest in us also remember that as they continue to enjoy, what we do. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I do this with a lot of my guests, and I do this because um, early on it has proven to have great results. Okay, I
Mm.
actually just got a DM today from a great result from another guest that I had on previously. Some things was moving around in her life, and she likes to believe that what I had her do on my platform was the cracking of the opening for the other
Okay.
stuff to happen. Okay, so
Okay.
I want for you to verbally put out into the universe something that you want to manifest for yourself or in your life or for even someone else. But I need for you to vocally speak it into existence.
So just anything like it's a
Whatever your heart desires.
like it's like a birthday wish on a birthday cake. Let me think. You can think about this thing. Birthday wishes were serious. No. Um. Um. I'll say this. I want at some point to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. And I believe and I know that it will happen before the end of the year.
Okay. And so the creator is hearing this, is that as specific you want to get about it, or do you want to, or do you have something in mind that you really want your heart to have? I need you to really name that thing.
I don't. Yes, it's more specific, but I don't want to say it just yet for the sake of the.
Gotcha.
But my heart is saying
Gotcha.
it. My heart is
Okay.
saying it.
All right. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Tell all my people where they can find you, and your people too, because these are some of your people
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, you can find me on all the socials. Just look up JM LeGray Studio. It's my studio where I do all the work and things like that. If you want to book a session with me, I'm always taking new clients and taking out perspective clients, things like that. So you can go to my website, jmlegraystudio.com. That's JMLEGRAIRSTUDIO.com. But if you type in my name, it's gonna come up. Just type in my name anywhere, and everything will come up, and you can book what you want, and hopefully you can work together at some point. But yeah, that's it. That's where you can find me.
So, so if any of the good old professors want to follow me as well, good old professors friends want to follow me, uh, I am Chike Evans, the host of Conversations with Chike Evans. I also am a co-host on the Stephen Knight Show. I also have a YouTube channel, so you can come check me out, Conversations with Chike Evans. And Professor, if I'm in Ohio, I'm definitely going to look you up. You seem like good people, and I'd like to know you.
Yeah, let's do it. If you're coming to come by, I don't tell people to come here often, but if he happens to be here, let a brother know. I would definitely come by for sure. Come by here, whatever.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings to you, brother. And thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. See
All
y'all.
right, y'all.
Thank you for coming in the room. I appreciate all of you. Please follow.
Yes, yes, yes. I see y'all.